The Princess and the Human, Book 2, Side Story. Liza looked up at the huge gate in front of him. It wasn't as massive as the palace's, but still quite sizable. A strange black and yellow symbol hung on top of it. When he had lost his job at the Star Palace due to his carelessness, he had doubted whether he would be able to find employment again. After all, someone who used to be employed by a royal family, only to be let go, wasn't exactly something that sparked a lot of trust. And it was also something most nobles simply didn't want to have associated with their name. He was able to get by, thanks to his somewhat decent savings. But if he was honest, he had been in quite a panic, trying to find something for himself. And then, for some reason, someone employed him again, and not because he had asked them, no, they specifically wanted him. Why? He didn't know. The message hadn't specified that. All he knew was a clan with a name that he had never heard of wanted him, and, well, he wasn't exactly in a position to be picky. A servant opened the door. Liza showed the message inviting him, and after quickly confirming his identity, he was let in. The servant guided him through a wide entrance hall where a couple of craftsmen were currently working on some sort of abstract statue. A closer look made him realize that it was the same symbol as was above the gate. "May I ask what that is?" he inquired the servant.
"The human equivalent of a lion crest, if I understood correctly. Now come, Lord Lingari must be waiting for you."
Human? What was that? Also, Lingari, the clan name on his invite, didn't start with Ling. What was going on here? Lord Lingari turned out to be a still somewhat young, though older than Liza, Veneri, who was currently overseeing another construction work, this time a large electrical device. He noticed them once they got closer, causing the servant to step aside.
"Are you the mechanic they hired?"
"Yes, my lord," Liza answered quickly, assuming this was the correct answer from context clues.
"How many ships have you worked on?"
"I have mainly maintained shuttles, my lord, but larger ships were occasionally also part of my duties. The models include—"
"Doesn't matter. And the important part is that you're familiar with gravity generators."
"I've worked on some," Liza affirmed. "I don't know the exact science behind it, though, my lord."
"You don't need to. What matters is whether you can maintain one."
"Well, then, yes, I am familiar with the current standard models." Lord Lingari gestured for him to enter the room.
"This is a modified version, but the core elements are the same. So take notes. You'll be the one manning it once Lady Nadine moves in."
Liza's head perked up. Nadine? That was the name he knew.
"The modifications are all unique so far, so I needed to improvise in certain parts,"
Lord Lingari explained.
"The main issue is that this one is meant to create a far stronger gravity than any we've ever built."
"Isn't that dangerous, my lord?"
"Depends on what you mean by that. To you, yeah. Be near it while it's active and it'll kill you. On a large scale, no. That's not how artificial gravity works."
Liza nodded along, though his worry didn't really go away, something the engineer seemed to notice as he made an annoyed sound.
"Listen, artificial gravity is not like natural gravity. If it were, any ship approaching would fling our planet out of orbit. If we're being completely exact, artificial gravity isn't gravity at all, just locally emulates the effects of gravity."
"I see. Thank you for your explanation, my lord."
"Sure. Give me your datapad. I'll send you all the technical details. Familiarize yourself with it. I'll have you called once we start with the first test run."
With that, Liza was unceremoniously pushed out of the doorway, where the servant from earlier awaited him.
"This, as well as the mansion shuttle, will be your main responsibility," he explained. "You will also be a part of the crew for Lady Nadine's ship, should she use it. Naturally, you will train in simulations and attend a teaching session by the manufacturer beforehand. I will show you your schedule later."
Just so I understand this correctly, all of this belongs to Lady Nadine, right?" The servant, Liza, realized he hadn't told him his name yet, looked at him, the question clearly pointless in his eyes.
"Yes."
He then simply said,
"Now please follow me. I shall show you the kitchen where you can get your meals and your quarters."
Liza did as asked, but the reality of the situation only slowly set in. Nadine, the alien noblewoman he had met in Star Palace, the very person he failed, wanted him to work for her. Not only that, he wasn't even being interviewed. His employment was treated like a foregone conclusion. Sure, it wasn't like he was in any position to refuse, but still. When he was shown to the kitchen, he was surprised to see a familiar face. Cabot, the head chef of the Star Palace, seemed to be instructing two other cooks.
"It's a bit early for last meal, but it's already prepared. You may take yours with you, then I'll show you to where you will sleep."
About to grab the box, Liza noticed a wide bowl of water, and in it swam— were those Tycro? What was the cattle feed doing on the noble kitchen? That wasn't for staff meals, right? A few days passed until Nadine arrived. Liza hadn't learned that she was given an estate as a reward until literally the day of the ceremony. It was a good thing, then, that he wasn't part of the lineup that would present the gift to her. Embarrassing himself in front of Homney's nobility was the last thing he needed right now. Later that day, the final test run of the gravity generator went by without issues, though seeing Nadine withstand the lethal gravity was unnerving. Lord Lingari then left, insisting that he would immediately be called should anything unusual happen with the device, as well as once monologuing about the potential dangers he needed to look out for. Still, Liza listened dutifully. He didn't know why he was given this chance, but he wouldn't waste it. Once all had calmed down, he went to the kitchen to get today's first meal. The staff there were in quite the turmoil. Apparently the princess would visit for a last meal this evening. Liza was glad that this didn't concern him. He was about to grab his plate when he noticed something. Nadine? Why would a noble ever enter the kitchen? Was she cooking? By herself? Well, she wasn't entirely alone, as both Cabot and one of the mansion's cooks were watching. Was she teaching them? Getting curious himself, Liza stepped a bit closer. Apparently whatever the alien noblewoman was making was just done. She carefully picked it up, holding it with only her fingertips. It was a light brown disc that didn't really look like anything remarkable. Nadine blew on it a few times before taking a bite. For a few ticks, she chewed in silence. Then, clear liquid began to flow out of her eyes. End of supplemental chapter. I'd greatly like to thank our Tier 5 channel members, Casper Arnholtz, John Creighton, Manathayria, 050, Dragzoon W.R.E, and Elijah Silvercross. Thank you very much.